Hi, welcome to another episode of Industrial Amputation, where you can always expect the unexpected. Charles Levi is recovering from medical procedure, and he will be back with us next week. He sends his warm wishes. Today with us, we have Gaby from Eva X. Her music has been described as fusion of a synthwave, industrial, power pop with elements of metal. Her danceable beats and vocals entice reflective thoughts from a robot girl singing about relatable things. Gaby, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us here today.
Thanks
Well,
very much for having
show.
me.
Yeah.
So let's start this out. Why did you choose the name Eva X? Why is that the name of your band?
So a few years back when I was trying to put together my musical project, I was all deep into the whole impacts of technology thing. So I was playing with some kind of quasi-religious motifs, and you start mashing up Eve and some of the pioneers of computing like Ada Lovelace, and Eva came pretty naturally from that.
Nice.
And honestly, the X just sounded cool. I
Right
would
on.
not go on. It would be Ava X if I had watched Neon Genesis Evangelion before this past year.
Awesome. Yeah, we've had a few fans of that show on. It's a great anime.
I love that show.
Eva, your full-length debut, I Dream of Reality, was released by Distortion Productions in 2022. It's a powerful album from beginning to end, combining so many different elements of music. So we aren't really confined to one specific genre. Do you craft your music this way purposely, or is this something you don't even really think about?
At this point, I feel pretty comfortable saying that it's the genre spread is not entirely intentional. It's not unwelcome, but I'm really bad at sticking to a single genre. I actually was just working a bit on album 2 before I jumped on, and we've got a lot more metal elements in this one, some much more 80s revival, and just probably even some straight techno and dance elements all over the place. So I think album 2 will be a little more focused on the power pop, dance pop elements, but the genre spread is not going anywhere.
That's good. That's really good. In the studio, are you playing everything? Are you working with different people?
So that's kind of changed over the years. Album 1, I worked closely with a couple of great friends of mine, Shane Stevenson and Adam Ma, out here in Vancouver. They're phenomenal genius producers. When I started working on it, I didn't really have the tools in hand. I just hadn't been producing very long. I did my first tracks that I actually finished producing, I think, were about 2018. So they really helped mentor me and help me grow as a producer and make the album I wanted. For this one, for Dopamine Blind, which I just released earlier this year, and for the forthcoming tracks, Fiction and Others, that's I do about 80% of the production, and then he's playing all the guitars now, and he's helping kind of get everything over the finish line with that final polish and mix.
Right on. Yeah, it's a beautiful mix. It really is. Do you have a favorite piece of gear or a go-to when you're tinkering or working out tracks?
I'm pretty in the box. I was moving around a lot when Eva X got started. So Serum is my baby. I've been trying to get back into, for this one, writing a bit more on actual physical instruments. You can see the giant keyboard behind me. And I actually have Eric's, it's Eric's Explorer, but right now I'm kidnapping it.
Very pretty.
It's a wonderful guitar. It's a lovely guitar.
So the music itself is so intricate that it provides a perfect soundscape to your thought-provoking lyrics and decadent vocals. It has been a while since I've heard music I think is truly unique, and I feel like you absolutely nail it. Can you take us through the process of writing one of your tracks?
I find this actually a very challenging question because we haven't traditionally had much of a process. It's kind of been, oh, what about this? What about this? Right now, I'm kind of starting from the hook, from the riff, as it were. There's the metal head coming out.
Yeah.
So I work in Ableton primarily. So I've got session mode where I can just queue up a bunch of vignettes and start playing with chunks and pieces and putting different sounds together, and then build that session out into a full song and tweak from there. So a lot of the tracks that I'm working on right now are really starting as that kind of that riff collection, and then curate and bring them forward into proper demos and then full songs.
Excellent. Yeah, I use Ableton too. It's a great tool. And very versatile. Oh my God. So I've been diving into your discography, and Lights really spoke to me. So darkness to this, along with the poppy melody, really ties everything together with a sense of hope. Can you walk us through this track, please? The inspiration, what it means to you?
So funny story about Lights is that one was actually a cover from my old band back in Calgary. My brother and I had a pop punk band together.
Yeah.
And I was looking to do a B-side in a hurry, interested in doing a cover track that actually release, and those rights were incredibly easy to secure. I messaged my brother and said, "Hey, can I make a cover of this?" And he said, "Sure, why not?" So I'm gonna have to tell him you said that.
Excellent. Yeah.
Because I have to paraphrase him kind of talking about he was really influenced, I think, a bit by the Smiths in that. Like, he threw in some references to them in the bridge that I think I mangled.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was really coming from one of the first pieces we worked on together. And I absolutely loved it too, which is why I kind of messaged him later and said, "Can I do this?"
Yeah. No, it was a great decision. Yeah. That's a great track. Yeah, there's lots of great tracks in your discography, but that one for some reason just got in my ear and stayed there, and I was very happy with that.
I thank you. Maybe someday I'll corner my brother and see if he wants to talk about it more.
Right on.
Yeah.
So what previous bands were you involved with before you started going it alone with your Eva X?
Oh man. So yeah, we had a pop punk band in Calgary with my brother. We had a pretty good demo, and then everyone kind of moved, and then we folded. I joke that we're one of the only bands that legitimately broke up due to creative differences. My brother's now writing like really gothy, angsty, slow, heavy metal, doom metal, actually.
Yeah.
Actually, funny story, if you're into Tribunal, that's Etienne. Etienne was the guy who wrote Lights.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I have to check that out.
Yeah, and he's actually off touring in the Midwest right now. I believe he is in Cincinnati tonight, and I think some of my friends from Cincinnati are seeing him. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, as you can imagine, having someone who really wanted to write that kind of organic neoclassical metal and someone who really wanted to write Lady Gaga stuff in the same band. That was not, the two visions were not meeting, but
no, that's
you know.
there's a tension there that actually I think works really well. I've got a very broad taste in music, and
yeah,
I'm listening to just about everything, and so I like an artist that's able to kind of bounce around a little bit. So
yeah, and maybe we could have bounced around, but we both really wanted to pursue our own visions as artists.
yeah.
So yeah, that's what happened there, and ultimately I think we both went on to do really cool things, and
Yeah. No,
winding down
sure.
that band was the best thing we ever did for our careers.
Right on.
And the other, I was in a couple small bands, metal projects. Did a year in in like one of those, those like performing arts ensembles you see in like the theme parks or local shows, like stuff like that actually.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, that it's been a bit of everything. It was in the ensemble where I'm sitting there kind of in the writer's room, like, wait a minute. I just want to control this and write my own stuff, which means I have to learn to produce my own stuff. Okay. And so I started working on that kind of around 2017, 2018, and just snowballed from there.
Excellent.
Well, so the remixes of your songs from your debut album, in addition to some of your earlier work, further pushes the music into deeper elements of harder electronic soundscapes and such variant interpretations of the original recordings. What is sought after by you when a remix is done of your work?
So look for remixers whose work I really admire, who I think are gonna do really interesting things with the remix. So that was, you know, that was one of the reasons why Grendel did one of the first remixes of Machine. Is I love Grendel, and I was just like, sure, why not? The worst they can say is no. Luckily,
Right on.
JD was into it and agreed to do it. And the album remixes, I like that you bring that up, because that was also really particularly, well, artists who I've worked with or collaborated with who'd been really part of the history of the project, kind of bringing in some of those people from the background. So Nebulae Complex, that's Slava in Calgary. He actually was one of the earliest live members of Eva X and helped nudge me to get everything done. He's a fantastic producer and performer, so I was really happy to bring him in to remix Tear Down These Walls. Eric actually asked for Machine. He desperately wanted, at the time was like, could we do a trap style? And I'm like, I like the track on the album, but if you want to remix it, you can do whatever you want. So he did.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that Grendel remix of Machine is incredible. Outstanding track. Have you been able to work directly with Grendel?
No, I'd be cool, but not yet.
So we'll keep our fingers crossed and our eyes on the horizon for you.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Well, you do have new music on the horizon. Speaking of, in February, you released a single, "Dopamine Blind," song that is completely reflects a new era of Eva X, I feel.
Yeah.
The music seems to have evolved into a new terrain. What can fans expect from your next album?
You know, it's gonna be not like an album of like 8 to 10 Dopamine Blinds, but an album in that vein. A lot heavier, a lot more pop and hook and riff based. Not necessarily, we haven't necessarily gone full metal, but those influences are really coming to the fore more. So that kind of power pop, techno pop. I think it's going to be a bit less of the atmospheric reflective side of Eva X. That's not totally gone, but we're really kind of going more towards the slightly harder rocking. I feel like we're almost toeing out of industrial pop and into industrial rock territory on some of them, and I'm very excited.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, your next single, Fiction, available for pre-order on Bandcamp and drops July 5th. When do you anticipate the next album will be released?
So I keep saying we're shooting for the end of this year.
Okay.
And I'm not sure if we will make the end of this year, but early 2025 at latest.
Right on. Looking forward to it.
Oh yeah, me too.
Oh yeah. Me three. We're making really good progress over here, actually. When I haven't been on the road, I've basically been writing and producing. I think we've identified the song that we're going to release as a single after Fiction, and I'm very, very excited about it. It almost has a bit of a 2000s J-pop, J-rock influence, and I think bringing in the heavy nerd vibes are speaking to me, so that's gonna be fun.
Oh, that should be fun. Awesome.
We're all heavy
And
nerds.
complex.
Oh yes.
Yeah, you're returning to play Mechanimus Festival on Friday, June 28th. And then we get to see you on the Texas Electro Massacre Tour in Dallas on July 29th at 3 Links Deep Ellum. Are you excited to be on tour again?
Incredibly so. I'm really looking forward to it. Mechanismus is going to be a great time. Seattle is always so good to us. And the Texas Industrial Massacre Tour, that was it, right? Texas Electro Massacre Tour, sorry. I'm really excited about how that's come together. I've been back and forth with Spank the Nun about doing some shows together for a while since we went through with Morris Black and Danny Blue.
Mm-hmm.
And then this came together for this year. In Shadow Fashion, obviously, Pat Pierce has played with us all over the States now, and asking him if he wanted to bring Shadow Fashion along was just a no-brainer.
Excellent.
Yeah, I see you've played Texas this summer before, so you know exactly what to expect.
Hopefully, yes. We've never really played Dallas proper before. I have been schooled that Fort Worth and Dallas are not really the same thing. So it actually is mostly going to be new for us. Austin, I'm hoping we have another wonderful night. It'll be my first time playing San Antonio and Houston, so I'm really excited for that.
Right on.
Great scenes. I'm sure they'll treat you well. I was more referring to the heat of Texas.
Oh God, yes, the heat.
It's, here in Canada, it's just my friends from Canada have come down here and their AC broke on their bus and they just were not happy.
Oh God. Yeah, AC broken on the bus would suck.
Yeah, I mean, need ice underwear for that time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Go ahead, Joey.
I'm sorry. Please tell us about your live band and what they bring to your performances.
So Eric's kind of become consistent live member. I take him everywhere. The one time we did a tour without him, it was a complete disaster. So he's, talisman and just tech, wonderful guitar player. He brings a great energy to the songs, and he knows, because he lives with me, which really helps.
Yeah.
He really knows a lot of the sonic territory I'm interested in. He often has some cool ideas for hey, have you thought about this?
Oh, right on.
So he's a fantastic second set of ears, and he's a fantastic guitar player, and he brings a great energy and interest to the music. People really get into his playing and his performance. And our keyboardist is a bit of a rotating position, and everyone's really brought some different stuff. Slava from Calgary, he played with us at Terminus. I think he really brings such a deep love of the creation and craft. So he'll be coming up with these interesting sounds, patches. He brings that really cool sound vibe. Dallas is our other Canadian keyboardist. She's here in Vancouver. She's almost this she almost brings a bit of tranquility to the stage. She has this great presence she has with the guitar, and just a ton of energy and a real interest in vibe. She is just fantastic. And in the States, obviously, we've got Pat. And Pat is just a fantastic performer. And, right there with us, bringing the show all over the place.
Cool. You've been in Seattle at our substation.
Yes, I
look
have.
forward to seeing you at the Mechanismus in a few weeks. Being
Yes.
from one of our favorite sister cities, Vancouver, can you tell us any stories about other stops in the Emerald City?
Oh man, Seattle. We've been there. We played a couple of times there. We played in December, obviously, with with Yes and a few of the local Seattle bands. That was a ton of fun. We're very fortunate to have some good friends there who are able to put us up on our stops. So we always get to see Poe, our favorite puppy.
Oh, right on.
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome. Is there a venue here that you'd really like to perform in?
I think I'm pretty much crossing it off my bucket list with this one. El Corazon is going to be very, very cool.
Excellent. Excellent. Looking forward to it.
Me too.
So your videos are extremely impressive endeavors and certainly very complimentary to your music. What are the concepts for your music? Where do they stem from, the music videos?
They stem from, hey, this is interesting, and we can probably film it on a relative shoestring. We are, I like to get really creative with using the space we have and using the tools we have. We have some pretty great tools in our hands, I won't lie, but it is pretty much, the videos are generally, it's Eric and I. For Machine, we were fortunate to have a second set of hands, our friend Jacob. But usually it's just the two of us. Whipping Girl, Eric wasn't even able to make it. He sent me a rental list, and that was all me and the friends I rounded up for it. So the limitations breed creativity.
Yeah, they really do. They really, really do. Back in the, what was it, around 98 or so, I got together with a guy named Generic Eric Van Tassel, and we started playing around with some stuff, like a little realistic mixer, a 4-tracker, an old Yamaha drum pad thing, real janky, and my Zoom 505 pedal with my my Hondo bass and his guitar. I called it below-fi, and it was so fucking fun. Just going in, just in his crusty basement bedroom place studio, and just making noise. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, it does.
Yeah, to control the creepy apartment prison was actually filmed in my parents' place while they were out of town.
Oh, right on.
We used to simulate all the security cameras. We had one GoPro and just kept moving it around.
Never would have known. Looks amazing.
You know, I mean, we had the real camera for some of the tracking shots and that, but pretty much everything with the security camera grade on it was just we stuck a GoPro somewhere fun.
Yeah. So just a skateboard, someone standing on it, rolling you back and forth kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. GoPro on a stand. High
Yeah.
up on a stand. It's like, hey, camera one. Also, because if I accidentally knocked it somewhere, it was fine.
Right on.
So the video for your latest single, Dopamine Blind, is truly my favorite. I love how the lighting is sourced in that video. It really brings everything together and has such a beautiful ambiance. Do you have a personal favorite video? And if so, why?
That's a tough question. I really have a soft spot for both Dopamine and Whipping Girl because that was really videos with friends.
Mm.
So Dallas is obviously in Dopamine playing keyboard. She also came to assist on the club clairvoyant side with the crew there. And that was actually, speaking of limitations, we actually found a cool looking room in a local rehearsal studio in Vancouver. And we're like, it's for band practice, totally for band practice that we're doing this. And just made it over to look like the little clairvoyant space.
Oh, that's cool.
What's the music scene like out where you live in Canada?
It's really cool. We're definitely, it's interesting because there's not actually a ton of electro-industrial people here, but there's a lot of adjacent stuff going on. Obviously, Verboten is thriving out here, and there's a really thriving metal scene.
Mhm.
So we're doing a lot of crossover stuff, trying to get our fellow industrial heads out there playing more. We did a really successful showcase last year with Hemnetger, Skull Cultist, and actually Voltron, speaking of people from the Emerald City.
Awesome.
And we have some really exciting stuff planned for this year to bring industrial to the forefront a bit more in Vancouver.
Yeah, there's lots of big names out in Vancouver. Is there anyone in particular on your radar currently?
Oh man, and in terms of the big names,
Just in terms of anything. Yeah, I mean, there's so much talent coming out of Vancouver. I mean, is there anyone in particular that you're really interested in?
I spend a lot of my spare time in the metal scene, actually. My friends in Caius have their debut album coming out in August, and they are fantastic melodic death metal.
Ooh.
The other band who I saw recently is really neat is Arrow in the Quiver. They're almost new metal vibes.
Okay.
Really cool stuff. And on the post-punk side, Section Tyrants and Ringfinger are doing some really cool stuff.
What was the last one?
Ringfinger.
Ringfinger. I like that. Cool. All right, I'll keep my eyes open. So who is Gaby listening to and going to see when you're home?
Oh, when I'm home, we go to Amorphous every time they come through town. We went to the Skinny Puppy farewell tour. I had never seen Puppy and didn't know there were going to be so many aliens, but I had a great time.
Oh, no, that was a unique experience. Yeah.
It was.
The alien thing, the whole concept of that, I think was a new thing, and I enjoyed it. I know a lot. I mean, I have been seeing them since the mid '80s, and a lot of people were like, "Oh, there's no blood, there's no guts, there's no," I'm like, dude, just let the man do his thing. This is a very poignant and profound message he's selling with this stage thing. So yeah, I was blown away.
you know, they went hard. It was really, it was, I was not super familiar with Skinny Puppy. I more like protest in that, which I realize makes me a bad puppy fan. So I was disappointed they didn't play that song.
No. I'm puppy family, and that does not make you a bad puppy fan. That's just for people that have I don't know, ego attitudes, I think.
Yeah, there's a lot of elitism in that fan base, and
Yeah,
we don't
yeah.
like to succumb to that. Same with Nine Inch Nails. I don't get along with. I've been a fan since '92, and I don't get along with the fans anymore. It's unfortunate.
Yes, so some of the fans can be a little, but for the most part, they're a big happy family, and everybody loves each other. I mean, but yeah, I mean, everybody's got their favorite era of Skinny Puppy, just like everybody's got their favorite era of David Bowie. But you know, if you can't really absorb the whole thing, I guess that's sad for you.
It is indeed. Yeah, I know you. I feel like you just described the metal family. Like we've
Yeah.
all got a ton. We've all got our little bits of the scene, and the people who get way too hard into it.
Yeah, a
Yeah.
little bit. I mean, we like sharing the love with everybody. I mean, honestly,
Yes.
you know,
Exactly.
it's very punk rock to be inclusive, and that doesn't just translate to people's sexual identities or their pronouns and stuff. That's yeah, it's much better when everybody can get along.
It really is. Yeah, we went to Verboten recently. We saw Urban Heat. That was phenomenal. I'd never seen them before.
Who was that?
Urban Heat we saw recently
Ooh,
at Verboten
okay.
Festival.
Oh,
They
right
were phenomenal. We also went to Hyperspace, so we saw Aetherrealm and Tyr and a bunch of other bands. That was also excellent. So we go to, you're probably a little more likely to see us at a local metal show, but
Mhm.
we make it out to things.
Right on. So if you jump the border to come down to Seattle to see shows?
Not yet, actually. We are usually too busy playing them, but I assume it will happen at some point.
Yeah, no, I did that a lot. I've done that a lot through the years, seeing, a band will skip here, or they'll play here and I want to see them twice or three times, and I'll go to Portland too. But yeah, that's Peter Murphy for the Holy Smoke tour. I saw him at Vancouver. So I've seen a lot of shows in Vancouver, but that one really stood out. So excellent. Any words of wisdom for the kiddies and coming into this crazy world of performance, and especially for the women?
You know, for anyone starting out, just practice, practice, practice. Do it over and over again. We went so hard preparing for the Morris Black tour. We were rehearsing, basically doing the full set twice a week.
Mm-hmm.
We got to the point where we were videotaping ourselves doing it and going through it that way. And I think that did it did wonders for our stage performance. It really took us to the next level as a band. And, for women, find the people who are in your corner and, stick with them.
Yeah.
I don't mean like put up with bad treatment if they turn out to be creepy and suck, because that will happen to you sometimes, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But your allies are just great people to have around. Like, there are people who will be like, yes, Gaby, the person who produced all this stuff. And that's always really valuable. When I was first starting Evax, I think a lot of people were like, oh, so Eric's doing the music, right? I'm like, hasn't heard half the stuff yet.
Yeah. Well, that's
half
awesome.
of us on release day.
Is there anything else you'd like to talk about this today? Something radar?
Now
Anything?
I'm trying to think about this.
Viewer's choice.
Dealer's choice. Well, I've been sitting here drinking a local craft beer from where we live in Port Moody. So I will ask, since I'm coming down both of your ways very soon, if I were to have 1 to 2 local beverages, what should I have?
Ooh. Substation is a good place for that. I'm sure you found out their ciders,
Yes.
their ciders in particular are absolutely fantastic. And there's a lot of that going on out there. You're going to be playing in downtown. Geez. I can't remember the name of it now. but one of the owners, I believe, is part of Soundstation, and I can't remember the name of it now, but they make the most amazing ciders, and I'm sure you'll be able to find some while you're out here.
Excellent.
As far as Austin, I've been sober for about a year, but I will say East Cider is really good. You know, local cider that I really recommend. Elysium does have very good cherry vodka sours, unless they've stopped doing that. But Eric can tell you stories about me stumbling around Elysium and cherry vodka sours and all. I was a kid. That was my go-to. But let me get back to you on that. When I see you when you're in Austin, I'll have some great answers for you.
Cherry vodka
Absolutely.
sour.
Austin, I do have, we actually, we went to Jester King a while back when we were there, just visiting the in-laws. And that was a pretty great time.
I'm not familiar with Jester King. Is that like a food joint or what is that exactly? Is it probably because Eric lives up north?
It's a brewery. It's kind of out northwestish Austin. It's a brewery out there.
Okay.
I'll check it out. I still go to breweries and stuff and hang out with my friends. I'm just the boring guy that drinks bottled water now, but you know, I still love hanging out.
Well, you just gave me a brilliant idea for a drink with a cherry vodka sour. I'm going to be trying that the next time I go out. So,
Oh, dude, I grew up on those at Elysium, and it was Atomic Cafe then, and then evolved to that, and just
yeah,
oh
yeah. I don't partake much of the alcohol, but when I go out, I do like to have a vodka, usually with cranberry and pineapple. But but you just hit all the bells in my head with the cherry sour part. So.
Moscow mules were great too. Do you ever do Moscow mules, Gabby?
Oh yeah.
I have had one or two. I think I might also have to try this cherry vodka sour at Elysium after we finished playing. Yeah, I'm not a huge drinker either, but I do enjoy a good craft beer.
Yeah.
And we're fortunate enough to live near several breweries in Port Moody, so I get to indulge the hobby, you know, once or twice a week. Have a flight.
Well, as far as craft beers go, the Space Dust, Elysium Space Dust is one of my favorites. But I always go back to either Guinness or Newcastle.
Oh, I miss Guinness.
Just a nice brown ale.
I love
I'm
Newcastle.
boring.
Newcastle's
I love
also love
Newcastle
Guinness.
too. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, my family is part Irish, and we have been to the Guinness experience once.
Oh,
I've heard nothing but good things about that. Having it from the tap is like nothing you can compare.
It's
yeah.
pretty great.
Yeah, I'm German, Irish, French, Cherokee. So if I drink too much, I'll get in big fights with myself. All
Yeah.
right. So, Joey?
No, I just have a lot of friends here that are really
Yeah,
scene because we have a lot of breweries here in Austin. Let me just ask around and I'll have some great recommendations for you.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I'll do the same. Because I'll see you when you're out here for the Mechanismus thing. So
Yes.
at least I plan to. I will be there Wednesday and Thursday, and I plan to be there Friday and part of Saturday as well. But honestly, it's going to depend on the gas by this point. So
Yeah, so we might be in there Thursday night. I'm not sure yet.
yeah.
In my dreams, I'm hoping to be able to make it to Donna's poetry reading.
That's yeah. I'm definitely not missing that. Yeah.
Yeah, I have to see if I can make it out of my day job in time to get down.
Yeah.
I'm working on it.
Well, good luck with that. That's going to be a very fun show. Yeah, you've been a part of that before, and yeah, God, I freaking love Ollie. It's just everything he does down there is just absolutely amazing.
Yeah, Ollie is a wonderful man. I've still got the t-shirt, especially from when we did the COVID version around somewhere.
Yeah, he was on last week.
Yes, I saw.
Yeah, or heard.
Yeah, saw, heard. Heard. Yes.
Oh my God. Gabby, it's been an absolute pleasure getting to know you and your incredible sound. Thank you for being here and for doing what you do. We really appreciate it.
Yes, well, thank you very, very much for having me on.
Excellent. Joey?
Kitties, we've reached the end of another episode. We dedicate all we do here to our dear friend Justin Lupo with love and respect to his family. Please feel good to each other and to ourselves. If you're hurting, do not hesitate to reach out. Please don't do it alone. People do care. We care, and just a reminder, we partner with Ayatoya to give out these wonderful 988 crisis hotline bracelets right here for suicide prevention and awareness. It's free. You can hit us up through our industrial amputation page to get them from us. The hotline is 24/7. It's anonymous. It's a great resource to have.
Yeah.
I hear more people that are not with us anymore as the months go on, and it's just heartbreaking. And
Yeah, it is.
Joe will be taking these out to the Mechanics Fest from Wednesday through the weekend, and Ali will be stocking these too. So thank you, Anya. And Joe, you said the package arrived today?
Yeah, Anya sent me some more, and the package arrived today, and I will be taking them down to Mechanismus. I've already sent Ali a huge bag of the bracelets, so there's going to be plenty on hand at Mechanismus. Please join us there if you get to. It's going to be a blast. This one is the 15th anniversary. Our guest Gaby with Eva X is going to be there. Donna Lynch and Stephen Archer with Stoneburner, and Donna's going to be reading her poetry there. My friend Severina is going to be there with Scilab. Our friend Klaus Larson is also going to be there with Leather Strip. So there's lots of names on this one. You want to get down there, you want to see it. So thank you, everybody. Loves, hugs, and belly rubs.
Yes.
Cheers.